welcome.
Thank you.
Before we start, you know what we have to do. We have to ask our audience a couple of quiz questions. So what quiz question is going to be in this episode this time? Let's have the quiz. Okay, so the quiz is, it's not so important to count the number of words I use in my IELTS writing answers. Is that true or false?
Well, my answer for this question is false because the IELTS writing test going to have the limit number of words for the participant to do the writing test.
What do you think? Is this true or is this false?
It is important up to a point. The exam question will say something like, write at least 150 words or write at least 250 words. However, the important thing is the words are approximately correct and you're not wasting time in your exam counting and counting and counting. What's much better is to practice writing so many times that you will know, okay, this is about 150 words and this is 250. So during the test, you're not wasting time checking and checking.
Wonderful. Now that brings me to our writing tips this week. You have a couple of writing tips for us.
I do. So this is talking about before you go into the exam. When you're practicing exam questions, and you should be doing lots of those ahead of the IELTS exam, that's when you should be counting words. Every time you write a paragraph, count those words to get an idea of how many words go on to every line. Once you're used to knowing this looks like 100 words, this looks like 200, 250 words, then you won't have to do it in the exam, and that's the really important thing. Although, if you're doing the exam on the computer, you have an advantage there because there is a word counter now.
Wonderful. Thank you for all of those tips.
Thank you.
And we'll now open the floor to our audience to actually enable you to ask questions. So audience, do you have any questions for Melanie?
Hi, my name is Mai, and my question is, what's the best way to study vocabulary and grammar for IELTS?
My answer will be controversial. Stop studying vocabulary and grammar separately. Remember that in English, grammar really only makes up 30% of speaking. 70% of English is fixed expressions, lexical sets. So what you need to be doing is, first of all, learn fixed expressions and phrases that are true of your life. I didn't have a clue. I've got no idea what I'm going to do about that. When you're learning those phrases, make sure then that the grammar is correct. After that, what you want to be doing is practicing answering simple questions, especially part 1 questions. But absolutely, please do not sit around with a grammar book. It won't improve your speaking.
That's great. Well, I think there's another question. Yeah, what's your question?
Hello everybody, Dung. My question today is, as far as I know, one of the best way to improve English is immerse in English. And what do you think about this?
Well, not everyone has the opportunity to do that. Of course, if you have the money and you can go to London for 2 weeks or to Sydney for 2 weeks, of course it's going to improve your English. But what you can do is give yourself more opportunities every day to spend time hearing and speaking English. So even if it's something simple like switching from Vietnamese music to English language music for a little while, or spending more time watching YouTube videos in English and not in Vietnamese, that would be a start in preparing for your IELTS. The other thing I should say is that English immersion is important, but it should be the right kind of immersion. So make sure you're actually spending time listening to people using language that you will use. Listen to people talking about their life, talking about what's going on with them, rather than very formal vocabulary that you're not going to use.
That's wonderful, thank you. This episode's topic is being a global citizen. What do you think are some of the qualities that make you a global citizen?
That's a great question. Thank you for that. I think a global citizen, hopefully, is someone who has a sense of belonging wherever they go. So I like to think I feel almost as at home in Hanoi as I feel when I'm back in the UK. I think a global citizen has an idea that we're all connected in the world, and a global citizen is angry and upset about the idea of injustice. And I think finally, in terms of being a global citizen, it means to me being concerned about the planet. So trying to live in a way that's responsible, trying to live in a way that helps take care of the planet.
That's wonderful. Thank you.